So hello and welcome to One Shot Comic Podcast. I'm Tom.
I'm Will.
I've just realised that this is going to totally ruin the I'm still Will joke because we were going to be recording this out of sequence in which you've broken that pattern.
I have, but maybe it's for the best.
Probably for the best.
So, yeah. Lost in the chasms of time.
Lost in the chasms of time. I kind of liked it. It was a bit of a catchphrase. You didn't like it, but I was yeah. Why are we doing this today, Will?
We got some new recording equipment after recording episode 1.
Yep.
And all of our friends who listen to the podcast told us that the quality of the audio was abysmal. And looking at the YouTube statistics and some other computer science stuff, Tom and myself decided that it would be a good idea to probably scrap the first episode.
Absolutely.
Which unfortunately means that we lose all the lovely talking about Mike Mignola's Hellboy and just like a real introduction to the podcast and stuff like that. But maybe we'll come back and pick those different pieces up at different points.
Yeah.
We're also planning to do a Hellboy Golden Army read and comparison of the movie as well at some point. So
to make up for losing the Hellboy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. In some way we'll make up for it.
We want something a bit more welcoming for new listeners.
Yeah.
That's not just like mind fucking you with 8-bit music in the background and just generally like going on up in this place.
No, that's it.
So what we need to do is we need to put down some fundamental things so people will be listening to this as the new issue 1.
Okay.
Although I don't think we should call it issue 1 because I feel like maybe we should go for like 0.5 or issue 0.
So it goes from 0.5 to 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe not. Because that doesn't make numerical sense.
But if we just keep it as 1, and then it's just, we can come back to it at some point if it need to be, or we can just, the first episode can just be really short and weird.
Yeah.
So, like my Willy.
A little bit to the left.
Yeah. How did you know this? This is odd. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about? We're going to talk about what the podcast is about.
Yeah, we need to set out what we've been doing now, because this is past tense, and why we're doing it, and give an introduction to who we are, because that's all going to be lost in the first issue now.
Okay.
Do we start with the podcast first or ourselves?
We could start with ourselves, I guess.
All right then. Do you want to go first, or shall I run away with that one?
Tom, please lead.
Okay. Left foot forward. That's my right. I'm Tom. I've been into comics since I was like this high. This is approximately like 2.5 foot for people who aren't watching. Because that's nobody.
It's about 1 meter for anybody who doesn't use whatever system the feet system works in. Metrics. Imperial. That's the one. It's the one that doesn't make any sense.
As you can guess from our little inane chats here, we're not the most educated of people.
No, we're horribly ignorant. But
although on paper I am supposed to be educated.
How do you figure? I
have a degree in my masters in art, so one would think I would be quite intelligent.
Degree in drawing.
In drawing, not art, just drawing.
Yeah,
I can draw lines.
Okay, cool.
So I got into comics as a youngster, watching Fox Kids, X-Men, yeah, with Jubilee possibly my least favourite X-Men ever.
Terrible. Was this the episode where we say which team would you have of? It was
not
right?
For issue 1, no.
Was that the second issue?
Was it? It might have been.
Which one? Because I said I would have 5 Jubilees.
You did say you'd have 5 Jubilees.
It might be for Death of Spider-Man though, because we were talking about, was it the Avengers?
Yes.
Stuff on the end?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
What was the what if? The what if for the first episode was a zombie one. So that'd be good to come back at a later date.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've lost much in that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm watching the Spider-Man cartoons, and I got really into comics at that age, and then I would say I grew out of them. Probably rather naively said now that you can grow out of comics, but I don't really think you can. You can lose interest. And then I went to art college, and was reintroduced through like a more arty edge of comics through Ben Templesmith's work, Ashley Wood, things like that. For those of you who know comics, they're a bit more artistic. Not that normal comics aren't artistic. They're a bit more. What's the word?
It just strays from the usual Marvel kind of superhero
kind of closer
comics.
to fine art. Because
they're a bit more expressive.
Yes.
And they borrow from different schools of art, not just strictly what you might have known as comicking, that kind of thing.
So I was given, I think it was Ashley Wood's Metal Gear Solid by a tutor, and he said you should read this. This is a very good example of how comic books can stray from the norm. And I read that, and I got into that, and then I read more of Ashley Wood's stuff, and I got into his figure painting, like the books of his figure painting.
He does a lot of finger painting.
Finger painting.
Yep.
Red. He's very good with red and blue. and shapes, potato shapes.
Just I lost sight of the joke and then regained it, and it was nice. I like that. It was a good warm feeling. Cool. Okay.
And then that brought me into Ben Templesmith's work, and I rediscovered comics in their entirety, and I got back into Marvel. Not so much DC. I've never really been a big DC fan.
Okay.
So for anybody who's really looking for DC stuff, I mean, I know you're not a big DC buff.
It's more I'm just not massively knowledgeable on superhero comics and stuff. I like Batman, and I like some of the Superman stuff that I've seen. I know there's a bunch of other DC characters. Yeah, I just have limited knowledge more than anything. It's not like we couldn't, in future podcasts, cover stuff if we had somebody on, or if we decided to branch out a bit. So,
or try and hobble through it ourselves.
Yeah, of course.
So that's how I got back into comic books, and then went through university and purchased more there, and then got a job and started collecting. So I've quite a considerable collection now.
Okay.
Which is a different experience to yours in comic books. I mean, you're not much of a collector. You're more interested in the craft.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I wanted to do a few different kinds of creative jobs when I was growing up. Like, I wanted to be a stop motion animator, then storyboard artist. I did want to make comic books at one point, but I didn't have much exposure to them growing up. So I tend to like more graphic novel kind of stuff and Craig Thompson comics, like Blankets, like more hipstery sort of thing. But I can my tastes really go pretty much anywhere with this stuff. I do tend to stay away from the superhero comics, but I am reading Bone by Jeff Smith at the moment, which I'm finding pretty cool.
Editor's note, we talked about this in what will be issue 4.
Yeah, we do. We talk about it then. So.
Yeah. I love editor's notes in comic books.
Hellboy follows them. It's just like, it always just refers to different.
Yeah, I think it's to sell the old books if you're reading through it. But I was saying I love editor's notes. I do like seeing them. The more I think about it,
the more you dislike them.
The more I dislike them. I'm thinking about them now, and I've just gone from they're kind of a nostalgic nod through to I really hate it when they crop up and it ruins the pace of the comic, or breaks your belief because you're like, editor's note, what's that one? Then you go to the asterisk at the bottom, and you're like, that was from that issue. Where was it?
Yeah, exactly. I hate it. Rather than just like explaining it or something like that, it's just like, go read it, you lazy shit.
So like, remember that time we fought the big demon in that place? It's kind of just like, remember that time? Asterisk, issue 30.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
I don't know why they just do it like that.
Fucking hell. Just have like a glossary or something at the back if you don't have any space. Fucking jerks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to write and draw my own comics and stuff at the moment, in between doing artwork at my own job, and it's going okay. Maybe we'll hear updates and stuff from it as we go along, but I have a lot of mental blocks as an artist, and I'm also a very lazy person. Don't know. We'll see where it goes, really. But
I noticed doing this podcast, you just turn up here, swan in,
yep.
Crack a few wise,
crack one off.
Yes, crack one off.
Yeah. And then
eat free stuff,
and
then bugger off and
leave
me to edit and maintain stuff. So I know you're lazy.
Yeah, although we've been dabbling with the idea of adding video element to the podcast to maybe liven it up and maybe hold more of an audience retention on people with low attention spans or nothing really to do with their lives.
Because
maybe using puppets or something like that.
If Channel 4 Breakfast in the 90s taught me anything, puppets.
Was that Zig and Zag?
Zig and Zag, man. Zig and
Zag. I
Zag.
had a pencil case of Zig and Zag.
And what was the other one with Philip Schofield?
Oh, Gordon the Gopher.
Gordon the Gopher.
There was some shitty puppets on TV in the 90s.
Yeah.
They were terrible. So
people watched.
Yeah. See, that's my point. Like, if we did end up just doing something like laying down with googly eyes on our chins and talking through reviews and stuff like that, then that'd be fine. I don't know, I just want to get different people on, their experiences with comics, and just talk shit and stuff like that. So
I think my general goal for this was not to be an entirely comprehensive podcast in terms of comics. I mean, we are by no means experts, but it's to give our fun take on it and get our friends on and just
totally
chat nonsense mainly.
That's it. That was really it.
So in terms of what we're going to do with the podcast, each week we are going to select a comic, volume, read through it.
Yep.
We'll put it up on the Facebooks and the Twitters.
And the WordPress. Which has been grossly neglected.
Yes. So we'll put that up for people to read along with us if they want to. And then the podcast when the podcast goes up, people will be able to listen to our opinions on the comics they've read, and we'll try and give some insight as much as we can, and hopefully point out some quite amusing things to do with the comic.
Totally. I seem to be ended up reading the comic almost like last thing at the moment.
Like literally just before
yeah,
the last issue.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't give myself a chance to read it, the audience is probably not going to have that big a chance either. So I need to be really like put stuff on the WordPress or spam through Twitter or something. We're going to be reading this.
Yep.
And then read along.
Along with the comic book, we will look at comic news.
Yeah.
Any insight onto what we think is going on in the world of Marvel
Mm-hmm.
or DC, all comics.
Yep.
Things to do with it, closely related to it, TV series, movies.
Boobies.
Like boobies. I think we've pretty much covered boobies and penises by this
I would
point.
like to not cover boobies, but I would like to cover penises.
Each to their own. Each to their own. I'll cover the boobies. You can deal with the penises.
Okay. I meant with fabric and
Okay.
things like that, but I guess they also mean the other way.
Along with comic news,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll talk about the films that are coming out. Like for those of you who are listening to what will be episode 1
Mm-hmm.
as episode 4, because it'll be the 4th thing we put up.
Can you replace the videos?
I can
Is that a
replace
thing
them,
that can happen?
but there are obviously people who've listened to 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So they'll be listening to this as number. It will be number 1, but it'll be the 4th thing that pops up in the feed.
Okay, but you are going to replace it, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
So
fine.
for those guys, they know we're going to talk about the films. Like we talked about Spider-Man. We did a Spider-Man review. Batman's coming soon. Give Batman a watch.
Does that mean we give Batman a read?
We should probably give Batman a read as well. I hear
I'm not sure which one we should read though.
I hear it's based on quite a few things.
Right.
I think it's Nightfall.
Okay.
One where Bane breaks Batman's back.
Ben breaks Batman's back.
Yep, that's a tongue twister.
Like a brick.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I remember this puzzle from Monkey Island 2.
6.
6?
That's not the answer.
Okay. I thought you meant Monkey Island 6.
Yeah, and the other part of it is The Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
The Frank Miller one.
Oh, right, really?
Yeah, because from what I gather from the trailers and reading things online is something happens and Batman takes a step back. Bruce Wayne takes a step back from the cowl and just.
Have you read Dark Knight Returns?
I have.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah. I think, is that the one where it's got Catwoman in it? Batgirl in it even?
She's got
a really
it's got a Robin
design.
in it, who is a female.
Yeah. It's set in the future.
Yeah.
And there's mutants.
Yeah.
And they have a fight in some mud.
Yeah.
Okay, I've read that. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alright, that one. That's year 1, isn't it?
It's before year 1. I think
Before
year
year
1
one.
carries on at the end of it.
Right.
This may be grossly wrong, and there may be DC fans screaming at their YouTube pages.
It's probably really fundamental mistakes we're making as we're saying this. I remember there's Dark Knight Returns, and there's like a second one or something, and it's just pure shit. And the colours are all really weird, and there's either a Batgirl or Catwoman in it, and she's just bizarre. And she has roller skates or something.
Roller skates?
Yeah, it's really, really mental. Yeah, I remember reading it and feeling a bit sick.
Okay. And the final thing we're going to try and do each week is What If?
Okay, so that's like a hypothetical, fun thing. Like, what would you do if, you had cats for arms or something like that, but as a comic book related
I
thing?
think I would be a professional exterminator if I had cats for arms. I would specialise in rodents, obviously.
Okay.
And I'd just be like, Zah! Get him!
But the cat arms would run off, and you'd still be attached to them.
Would they run off? Or
And you'd be dragged along the floor and lose like all the skin on your face and chest, and probably your penis.
I haven't thought my career path through ever.
No, you haven't.
In that case, I'd probably just be a cat food tester.
So, as your hands eat cat food.
Yeah, I'd just go in every day and I'd just stick my 2 hands on the desk and someone would feed him. And because I'd be able to go, this is exactly what my hands are feeling, I would be the world's best pet food tester.
Actually, that's a good point, because you've got a human mouth.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be eating through it, but I'd be able to process the taste
Right.
through their mouths.
Hang on, no, but...
Because they're part of my hands.
Yeah, but you process taste by tasting it, don't you? So they would be... Are these cats, like, can you just tell what they're feeling? Or can you, like, actually taste what they're tasting?
Well, I would assume, because like I can touch things with my hand and I can move them and stuff, that
so you can
I
actually
would have
taste
full
the cat
control
food.
over them and full
So
sensation.
you can taste and eat. So not only this, you have intestines going through your arms.
Yep.
Right.
Through to
Like
sort of like
So
imagine if there was a Human Centipede spin-off
Right.
in which they stitched cats to people's hands
right.
and hooked up a digestive system.
So
The Human
fucking
Catipede.
hell. So it's like the bad guy from Iron Man 2, like Mickey Rourke character. What is it called? The Red Cyclone or something? Or
Whiplash.
Whiplash, that's it. So you're like Whiplash, but instead of cool tentacles or Omega Red, you're like, you've just got guts going up your arms in a cat's assholes.
Yep.
That is sat on the end of your hands.
Yes. But I'm a damn good food taster.
Cat food taster.
Cat food taster.
Because they can't eat sugar. They can't taste sugar.
Cats can't taste sugar.
Cats can't
How
taste
do you
sweet
know?
things. It's science. Science.
They just go, alright, cat, is this sugar?
It's like in Shaun of the Dead where they said dogs can't look up, but dogs can look up. And pigs, apparently pigs will slash their own throats if they swim.
With what?
They're trotters. Apparently they try to swim and it just cuts the throats or something.
I just like the idea that each pig has a built-in case of swimming break here thing
On their neck.
with which then has a knife for them to slit the throats with.
Because it's just too much effort.
Yeah.
Just fucking die instead.
Just like, I could swim,
But I'd rather be bacon.
yeah, exactly.
So, actually, a packet of bacon probably would float. So,
I watched Mythbusters the other day along this lines, and apparently a duck's quack can't echo is a myth. They busted it.
how the
So I
fuck
don't know why I
could
brought
it
it up
not
because it's
echo?
wrong.
Why could it not echo? What does it even come from?
Wives' tales. Just like when your mum
These
says,
wives cause so much shit. They just they do everything. They're talking about fucking spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and bloody knock 6 times on the door if you want love.
don't put your keys on the table, it's bad luck.
Don't put your keys. Why is that? Well, because somebody could nick your keys.
Probably. That's probably quite sensible.
That's like saying don't jam your testes in a drawer because it hurts. It's obvious stuff. Like, don't set your fucking scrotum on fire. Why is everything related to cocks and scrotums when I'm talking?
We do.
I've got some issues.
It's Freudian.
It's Freudian.
Yep, you can get it on the brain.
Cock
Yep.
brain.
Cock brain.
No, it makes sense.
Ultimate supervillain.
Okay. So, yeah. Jamming genitals indoors. Cats' anuses.
So what if you had 2 cows for your arms?
2 cows.
In the same vein that I had 2 cats. What would you do?
2 cows.
2 cows.
Why have we just got animals for arms?
Because you suggested that randomly, and I thought I will offer you a slight change, and then see how you
would
react.
try to, I don't know, I'd try to like get inside my own arms.
My face then was one of
No, like, so
Dumbfoundedness.
so I'm going to try and describe the picture. The cows would be like very big feet, and I'd be like the crotch, and I
Right.
would try to I would try to make myself into the most efficient pelvis that I could be, and then we'd maybe try to find other triplets of mutants like that and try to join onto them like a big horrible transformer. Like if there was some guy who was all snakes, he could be the spine or something like that.
like the Megazord from
Yeah,
Power Rangers.
yeah. Well, just everyone would be sick as soon as they saw it.
Just this grotesque Megazord from
It
Power
would
Rangers.
make horrible like noises wherever it went and just leave a trail of blood and pus and semen.
And milk.
Blood, all kinds of milk everywhere.
Mm.
So,
Would you ever be tempted to like lift your right arm up and have a suckle? Like if you're like,
hang on, how strong is my bicep?
Well, the cows are helping you; they're not resisting.
They're not. Yeah, but they're not weightless. Okay, so I'm assuming that I can flex my arm.
Fuck it, why not? Yeah,
Okay.
they're like big cow.
Yeah, of course I'd
moves.
suckle. I'd do all sorts of things to myself. Of course I'm going to put my mouth on my own appendage.
Your udder.
Yeah, what I do?
Your udder.
Do the cows feel inclined towards me? Do they try to lick me and do things?
Well, no, because you're completely in control because they're
Completely in
appendage.
control. Like I can't. It's not
It's like your hands. Your hands don't ever go, ooh, I touched my face today.
Well, yeah. Well, when I wake up, my hand descends down into the depths. If you know what I'm saying.
Morning wood.
Morning wood.
Morning wood.
You tip your hat.
Tip your hat.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, is it not like breathing where it's just autonomous and you can control it if you want?
Would they breathe?
Your hands.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise it's just like dead cows on the end of your arms.
Well, no, I mean, like, but if they breathed,
Right.
if they breathe,
Is it not?
Would you-
Is
would I
it?
have to be
Is it?
careful?
Is it not broth?
breathe. No,
That makes no sense.
no, that doesn't.
I fucking hate our language.
If they were to breathe,
Good save.
you'd have to keep them out of water and stuff.
Right. I guess you don't.
And you'd have to make sure you didn't suffocate them.
Right.
So you'd have to be like, go to bed. I can't roll my arms up because like, I can't get all
Roll
snug.
my arms up. Are they articulated?
I can't get snug in my bed because if I
Right.
do, I may cover the mouths of the cows or cats in my
Yeah,
case.
but you can.
with the cover.
You can. When you were a kid, didn't you used to like hide under the cover? Because if you had any body part outside of the cover, like the monsters would get you and kill you.
But you've got cows defending you. It's about moo.
Yeah, but my point was exactly, it would be a mood point.
It would be a mood point.
But, I mean, you can sleep with a blanket on your face. It's uncomfortable. It gets really sweaty. Really
How
fast.
dare you make such bad puns?
Oh. I just farted as a self-defense mechanism against that pun.
Yeah.
We're in a very small flat. It's okay. I hope you never do. But, yeah. So I'd turn into a groin. That would be it, really. I wouldn't see any other point. I would just want to supplement the existence of the two. There's two of them, it's one of me. So why not make the best of a bad situation? Turn into a pelvis?
We definitely can't make much money these days. We've seen the cattle prices and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, who's gonna...
You wouldn't be tempted to, like, lop them off and just have steak?
What do I eat the steak with?
Nubs.
My nubs?
Well, if you want, I'll make you an attachment, which is like a knife and a fork.
Right, and I can eat this one meal
for free.
For free. Oh, I've got to pay for the rest. Other people's arms.
Yeah.
Right.
It's because they're your
cows. Is this like some fucked up version of Chew, where meat only comes from people's arms?
That'd be really cool.
This is why I hate Chew, because they use plots like that.
Do you think meat would be a premium if it was only available for people's hands?
They just have like lots of like people from countries that don't make a lot of money and have lots of people in them, or like people on the dole would sell their arms for money or heroin or something. So, but then where would they inject it?
Into the cows.
Yeah, but they sold them for meat.
Ah, yeah. But I'm pretty sure there are other places that heroin addicts use for injecting. I'm pretty sure, and I know we always get two penises.
Whoa.
Pretty sure.
When have we ever talked about penises on this podcast?
Well, because this is a retroactive episode 1. About 5 minutes ago, we were talking about morning wood.
Okay.
So even retroactively, we've still talked about penis recently.
Okay.
What was I saying? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can inject into the groinal area.
Right.
And toes, as you mentioned. Mm. Not that I'm an expert on heroin or anything.
Okay. No, that's good. It's good not to be an expert on heroin.
Drugs are bad.
They are?
Except for prescription ones. They're generally necessary.
You should take those.
Yeah.
If you prescribe them. Do we have anything else to say?
I don't really think we do.
We've basically covered like what we're going to do in the podcast.
And okay, so it's not a very long introduction to what we're doing on One Shot. Mm-hmm. But I think some of the crap we've talked gives an example of the kind of the calibre of conversation you can expect on One Shot.
Of course.
I think maybe before we finish, we should have a little question so people can get to know us. And let me ask you, what is your favourite comic?
My favourite comic?
Yeah.
I really like Mouse by Art Spiegelman.
Yeah?
That was really good.
It's not exactly something I pop out for a feel-good read, though.
It's not, is it?
No.
Did you want a more cheery comic?
No, I wasn't. I was just saying, it's a good book, but I'm not saying, like, if you want, like, a poolside read for your holidays, don't take Mouse.
Okay. Maybe something that's not so much about the Holocaust. The one I mentioned earlier, Blankets by Craig Thompson. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's a good benchmark. I recommend that.
I am a huge Ultimate Spider-Man fan, so I would probably say that. But in terms of if we're trying to impress people with our comic book knowledge, I'm going to say as well...
I think those might be two contrary statements. Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't even a very good one. We can pop and lock and rock it down the block.
Oh my god. Something to do with cock? Maybe.
Always on the show. Back on point. Ben Temple-Smith.
Yes.
Wormwood.
Yes.
Any of them.
Yeah. I like lots of James Jean stuff. Fables comics are good. Yeah.
We both agreed on Mignola being a master of his craft.
He is good. I don't know, it's fucking tons.
Yeah.
We'll find out as we go along.
Yeah. But I was just giving people a bit more flavour for our comic tastes. So if people are like, I want you to say...
Whichever comic you wanted us to say, that's the one we said.
Yeah. So because we're like that. We'll do anything for attention.
We'll bend over backwards, forwards, left, right.
I did hear, because San Diego Comic-Con's this week, that they're doing a My Little Pony comic at IDW.
Okay.
And there's this internet phenomenon called bronies.
Are you a brony?
I am not a brony. Are you a brony?
No.
Okay.
I know people at work that are bronies, so I could out them as bronies, but I won't. No, it's the cartoon. Like, I can see the appeal of it, but I don't know. I like the animation of it, and the style of it's really cool. And I think the team who've made it are making like a Justice League at the moment, where it's just the women. It's like some Powerpuff Girls sort of thing, where it's really fun. And those shots that I've seen on the internet have been really cool. Don't know. I just didn't, after a few episodes watching My Little Pony, I just didn't didn't click with it.
I haven't watched it. And the other thing I was going to bring up was
I like Dexter's Lab though and Samurai Jack. Like any
Dexter's Lab, I did enjoy his.
It looks like it has like a Gennady Tartakovsky sort of style to it, like that guy. So.
And the other thing I was going to bring up is this week, you talked on the show before about Adventure Time.
Right.
And I was just like, yeah, no, I know what you're on about. So this week, I actually looked at some Adventure Time comics.
And how did you...
Not comics, Adventure Time animations.
Okay.
What the fuck's going on in that show?
Yeah, it's good.
Like, I can't decide whether I was horrified or incredibly intrigued all at the same time.
It's interesting. What I like almost most about it is how short it is. It's really fast. I don't know, it's just really varied, and they're always doing something completely different, and it's just fun. It appeals to a hipster aesthetic, so I'm all over it, like flies on shit. So
there are some catchy ass tunes in those things.
There are as well, and it's got the guy who voices Bender as the dog.
Yeah,
as well.
I was one of the clips I was watching was
"Hey Fry." That's nothing like what he sounds like.
No. And the name you're looking for is John DiMaggio.
Yes, well done.
Yep.
Yeah, like Joe DiMaggio.
I didn't even use Wikipedia for that.
Fucking hell, how the fuck did you know that?
Because he's also Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War.
Jesus Christ.
He's in some Final Fantasy games.
He is as Waka. He's in Final Fantasy X. He's Waka. And he goes, "Hey man," or something like that. And he's got like a big quiff, and he throws a blitz ball.
Okay. There's a scene in Adventure Time where there's the main character whose name I can't remember because obviously I haven't watched much of it yet, and he's a baby. Okay. And he's looking in the mirror.
Okay.
And he's singing a song about like, I am gonna punch you in the face if you're a witch. And it was really catchy. I don't even think it goes anything like that, but we're gonna YouTube it after, so you can have a listen and you can see what I was on about.
Okay. But yeah, I like Adventure Time. I've only seen the first season though.
I remember there's dubstep remixes of that song as well, which is always cool.
I remember there's an episode where the gender swap and the boy is suddenly really sexy. like he's got a figure and everything. I'm sure they've put the age him as well.
Did that throw like a confusing spanner in the works for you?
Not really, because
okay.
I like girls and sometimes boys. But
no, but I mean the fact that all of a sudden this male character is now an attractive woman. That's quite a confusing spanner.
It was like visually it was a bit like, where's the boobs? But then after a while I was like, there's boobs. Okay. And they turn the dog into a sassy black cat. And
black cat. And
he's like, "Yo girl, you gonna get that princess?" It's like that. So it's good. And I can't remember if the Ice King's now sexy. He must be a woman, so there must be something.
I remember he had a penguin. That's about all I know about the Ice King.
Yeah. And he's like, Ice King! That's
the penguin or the Ice King?
That's the Ice King? Wasn't it obvious?
No.
Okay.
So we're going to wrap it up now.
Okay.
Because this isn't a full podcast, and I think we're already approaching full podcast recording lengths.
Will you have cut out almost everything I've said this time?
No, I'm going to... Maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's just a Tom show. You just come here to bounce things off.
I could
so
just be a
we have recorded for almost 40 minutes. We said we were going to go past half an hour.
We said we wanted 20 minutes at most. So.
Right, so we're going to wrap it up with stuff. So, check us out on our website at oneshotpodcast.wordpress.com.
You can find us at Twitter at oneshotpodcast.
If you'd like to, what we'd really like for the Twitter and I'm about to say I'm not about to say Facebook, I'm about to say YouTube. But what we'd like for the Twitter is people to tweet us what ifs, to suggest books for us to read. I know there are people already who have suggested things.
You want to get something off your chest.
If you want to tell us how dreadful you think we're doing, or if we're butchering
if you want to send us like a naked picture of yourself.
Yep.
That's okay. It's going to be Tom who has to deal with everything, so yeah. I guess I could check it on my phone as well.
So find us on YouTube and give us a subscription by searching for One Shot Podcast.
Yeah. Facebook is facebook.com/oneshotpodcast.
You can drop us an email with said naked pictures at oneshotpodcast@gmail.com.
Or on iTunes, search for One Shot, a comic podcast.
Yep. And I've been Tom.
And I'm still Will.
You still Will.
Don't like it, but just for continuity. Okay.
Keep reading.
Please do.